Oh, you know what? Could someone grab me a water? Thank you. Is that like being in the biz? That I can point at someone and ask for water? I don't know. So I was watching the Kentucky Derby today, and I realized I think I could be a great jockey. I've never ridden a horse before, and I'm a little maybe bigger than most of the jockeys, but I already sound like one. I was in the other room, and the TV was on, and I heard one of them doing an interview, and he was like, "Yeah, we're running really well, and just hope to have a good day." And I was like, "Is that my voicemail?" So I went from watching the Kentucky Derby, and I went for a little walk through Drake Park. It's kind of my go-to spot. And I had no idea that this is everyone's prom tonight. And all the way through Drake Park, people are taking prom photos. And I'm not sure what the themes are for the proms, but they now all have the same theme, and it's me photobombing. So, prom 2013, be looking for this beard. It's gonna be all over the place. I love Bend. I'm a local guy, been here for a long time. I like watching the local news and following the local media. There was a story a while back, I don't know if you guys remember this, about the cougar sighting on Pilot Butte. It was a big deal for a while. Headlines, and I was like, you guys, this is not even news. Have you ever walked up the trail on Pilot Butte at lunchtime? I mean, there are cougars everywhere. Everywhere. Another local news thing that I just love, this is one of my favorites, is the man on the street. Oh, thank you so much. The man on the street story, where they want to get some perspective from somebody, but they do it on an international story. So you're sitting there and you're watching, you're like, hold on, that's my buddy Steve. No, quiet, I want to hear what Steve has to say. Oh, you know, I've been curious about what Steve thinks about the uprising in Syria. Nice, okay, well I've got that now, so that's good. Bend is a crazy town. You know, it's kind of a dog town. I think you guys have heard that. Someone mentioned that earlier, Dogtown, USA. If you want to meet new people, get a cute puppy and take it to downtown Bend. But be ready for some weirdness. So you can have a great looking kid and people could care less. But you take your puppy and here's what happens. I have this adorable puppy. Here's what happens. What's your dog's name? Can I pet it? How old is it? Is it on a gluten-free diet? It looks like it's a bit of a Rhodesian Ridgeback, Burmese Mountain Dog, Panda mix. Do you have college plans for it yet? It gets crazy. They get up in your business with your dog. And again, I've got a great-looking kid. Nobody's ever wanted to talk to my kid. So, go figure. But people are really active in Bend. People are so active in Bend that I question their sincerity when they tell me what they did today. I see somebody and I'm like, how's your day? And they're like, oh, 100-mile bike ride, Pilates, yoga, took the kid to 3 different sports practices, took the dog to the dog park, and started a nonprofit. And I'm like, your day is so much longer than mine is. How do you, that's amazing. That's incredible. I walk a lot. I was talking about walking through Drake Park. I like to walk. There's an interesting car driver in Bend to pedestrian relationship we have going on. There are these, well, we like to say Subaru Outbacks. That comes up a lot. There's these drivers who, they'll stop everything for a pedestrian. They're on the parkway, they see someone, that guy wants to cross, I think. We're stopping traffic. And it's like, guys, we are smart enough if we're walking to be able to cross the street, you know? But I mean, they will stop everything. And if you have a dog, they will stop. Window comes down. What's your dog's name? It's crazy. And so I get really bothered by people who take too long crossing the street for me, and I don't want to be that guy, but it's not like I'm out in my running gear, you know, so I don't want to like literally run when people stop for me. So I'm still just going to walk, but I feel guilty about it, so I have this move that I do where I just move my arms like I'm running, and I'm like, and it looks like I'm not going any faster, But it's like this, it's like saying, hey, I acknowledge that you stopped for me, and I'm gonna get across. Okay? So, feel free to use that. You'll get a, what's your dog's name? So, I have this really bad habit. I can have a car full of people, but if I interact with other cars, I whisper to them. So, it's because I try to help people out, and I want them to read my lips, but I can't have people read my lips without words coming out just a little bit. So we got a car full of people, and we come to a four-way stop, and there's another car, and I'm like, you go ahead, it's your turn. You go ahead. No, it's you, go ahead. So the crazy thing is, I don't know why, but when you come to a four-way stop, people forget how to drive. And it's like everyone's just there going, oh. And you come to a four-way stop, and if all four cars get there at the same time, it becomes a conversation for me. I'm like, no, you two guys can go at the same time. No, we can't go. He's turning and I'm going straight. No, this is you. Go ahead. You, what's your dog's name? Been in Bend for a while, there's lots of great activities. You can tell how long someone's been in Bend or if they're just visiting based on how descriptive they are about their activities. Because if you've been here for a while, you don't actually name activities, you just name places. So somebody comes to Bend, I'm like, hey, how's it going? How was your weekend? And they're like, it was awesome. We went to the old mill district and we blew up this inflatable and we had 3 people on it. And we were floating down the river to Drake Park. And then we got out and we all got on this bicycle and we were drinking and being obnoxious. And then we went for dinner and drinks at Deschutes Brewery. And I had a hamburger. And then you talk to people who have been here for a while and you're like, what do you got planned tomorrow? And they're like, float. And they're like, oh, nice. What are you doing tonight? 10 barrel. Oh, okay, cool. How was your weekend? The mountain. Oh, okay, awesome. Nice. Got anything cool coming up? Phil's. Okay. So, love the Bend lifestyle. You gotta love it. I mean, we're lucky to live here. Lots of fun things to do, obviously. I'm a little concerned about the stuff happening in Drake Park. It's been a good place for a long time, and it's starting to get pretty funky. It's kind of like this very bizarre sports festival is happening there. And there are people tight-roping between trees. Okay? There are people, huge groups of people hula hooping, and there's no kids in the group at all. It's all adults hula hooping. And I swear, one of those hula hoops was on fire. I'm like, this is not safe at all. This is not safe. Okay? So, but you make it further in the park, and you get to the most awesome section you will ever come to, and it's where the LARPers are. How amazing. Live action role play in the back of the park. It's like you just stumbled on Lord of the Rings, Battle for the Footbridge. And they've got foam swords and bows that shoot foam arrows, and guaranteed, if you're like me, every other guy, we're walking through the park and we see them and we go, nerds. Nerds, those are total nerds. And I want to play so bad. Oh. How do I get in that group? And I'm walking my dog and I'm like, take a break, dog, take a break. I want to watch. Oh my gosh. That guy's so good. They cut off his left arm and he's still going. And there, you know this, you know, countless Subaru Outbacks have driven by the park. Snowboard on top, dog in the back, bro driving, and he goes, oh. I want to whack someone with a foam sword. Guess I'll just go to the mountain. But Drake Park's kind of my go-to spot. I'm a West Side guy, lived on the East Side. I've been here for a while. I've seen Bend change. Do you guys remember, if you've been here for a while, when they started building roundabouts? What? No! How do we handle this? It was especially traumatic for me because I have this story I don't like to talk about, but when I had just gotten my license, I drove deep into Sun River one night. I don't know if you've been deep into Sun River by yourself at night as a new driver. It's all the same. There's roundabouts. The trees are so high you can't see anything. I was in there for 3 days. 3 days. So roundabouts, not a huge fan, but I'm used to them now. I didn't realize how many there were until my friend came to town. He was near the old Mill District and he needed to head towards Summit High School, just past there. And he said, how do I get there? I said, oh, it's a straight shot. You get on Mount Washington Drive and you go through 9 roundabouts. You're gonna have to drive through 9 roundabouts. That's not a straight shot. You gotta realize, it's on the, don't take that first turn. If you get confused, do a couple laps until you feel comfortable, and then go. Because if you haven't experienced roundabouts, it's not easy at first, right? And you can tell people who haven't experienced it because they're sitting there. And I'm like, no, it's your turn. You can go. Go ahead. Thank you so much, you guys. Have an awesome night.